Well, hello again, my friends. This is not the next study in Joshua, but just a note to add to the last one that we had together. Speaking about those chosen people of God, led by Joshua, and how they paused their journey to that land of promise, first at Shittim, and then by the Jordan River. It got me to thinking about the times in our own lives when either personally or as a family or as a church family, God seems to interrupt what we might want to call our forward progress. I've had many of these divine interruptions along the way in my own life. I've been looking back through the study that we've had already in Joshua, and I've been looking also to the book of Exodus and retracing the journey of God's chosen people as they were led by Moses. It seems to be trudging through the wilderness. God could have taken them by a much shorter route. He could have taken them around the coast of the Mediterranean Sea, but he didn't. Why not? Well, in Exodus 13:17, I found the answer to that question. It reads like this: When Pharaoh let the people go, God did not lead them by way of the land of the Philistines, although that was nearer. For God said, lest the people change their minds when they see war and return to Egypt. But God led the people around by way of the wilderness toward the Red Sea. And that got me to thinking also. For that first journey through the wilderness and toward the Red Sea was not a wilderness wandering. It was a God-designed route, one that he himself had chosen for them to keep them from turning back to Egypt. And I thought about that. I thought about the times that God has changed my route in life. And I've come to see that hardly a year passes by, but my plans, or our plans as a family, or indeed our plans as a church, the one that we're attending, they seem to be changed by some freakish circumstance that's beyond our control. Or perhaps as a family, things like our car breaking down, or illnesses, or perhaps even a traffic hold-up. It seems just to waste time. In all of these things, I'm coming to see, should we not be trusting in God? Should we not trust him in the unforeseen things, the annoying diversions, the silly distractions of life? How often do we grumble about the hold-ups in life? See, those people under the leadership of Moses certainly did moan. They complained a lot. And yet, if they'd had their own way and gone round the coastal route, they might have fallen foul of those Philistines. They might have fled back to Egypt. And friends, God does not want anything to drive us back to the old ways, to the old life. So the next time, even in perhaps what's going on in your life right now, look to God and trust him in it. Trust him fully. Trust that he is in it, and all that is happening will be turned around by him for good. That is what he promised us. In Romans 8:28 we read this, and we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose. I just read all things, didn't I? Let's look to God. Let's look to him rather than to the circumstances and the situations, so that he can lead us in his ways that are everlasting. Amen. I'll be doing the next study very shortly. God bless you all.